Hello and benvenuto to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. This season, we're going deep to help you rediscover who you are. So let's get started with today's topic because it's not a question, it's our recap episode of what makes you you. So it's so interesting as I'm kind of going on this journey and changing the structure of for this season, because I never really know how many episodes or too many in a series, and I'm not sure if certain series are going to hit the way others are. So it's interesting to just be able to experiment with you. So this was a little bit longer of a series. So definitely would love to hear your feedback on what you enjoyed and what you would change. But there was a few episodes that if you had any type of struggles or challenges, if there were questions that you kind of want to explore a little more often, this is kind of that time to do that. So the first question was our initial episode of what makes you you. So really digging into the things that are unique to you. We went into some of the unique characteristics that you hold. One of the things that I talked about was sometimes it's hard for us to really determine what is unique to us or something that we feel like is different because we're in this body. So the things that come very natural to us might not feel unique, so sometimes bringing in someone that that really knows you and that supports your growth and really, your journey that you're going on with self-reflection and prioritizing your well-being and just trying to become the best version of you. That is the person that you can go to and kind of ask, well, are there any things that you would think, is unique about me? So we talked about that. Also kind of went over, some of the characteristics that you might have tried to change in the past and really digging into what that means and what that looks like and reframing that particular characteristic or set of characteristics as something that you can embrace and how you can really start to embrace those things that make you you, to move on, and even to use those as strengths, reframing those things as strengths. So that was another thing to, if you felt like you explored that question and maybe you were in a mood of judgment, going back over any of the following, the previous topics, any of the previous questions where you feel like you need a little bit more time. Or, if you are in the space to do this, I encourage you to look at the questions that really made you kind of wince or that you were uncomfortable with, because a lot of times the most uncomfortable places are really where we need to dig in. It's very easy to be like, that makes me uncomfortable. I ain't trying to do all that. And I'm not mad at it because I don't like discomfort. Absolutely not. But whenever I feel like there's something that I am like vehemently opposed to doing, that's when I need to dig. Like I might not do it in that moment because I know when to give myself grace and when to push myself. But if there's something that is really, really bothering me, I know that I need to dig into that. So if you're ready for that part of your journey, then obviously you can do that. But do whatever works best for you. And lastly, if you haven't revisited the process episode, that can be really helpful, whether you are just starting your self-reflection practice, if you are very, you consider yourself a veteran of this work, because it's going to be inevitable that you come to a question that you get stuck, or you come to a situation where you find yourself really judging as you are, exploring a particular question. So that process episode can be very helpful. And I will continue to do process episodes for each of our series as just kind of a little bit of a reference that you can go back to and be like, oh, yep, that's what I can do. So that is going to be it for our recap episode. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. As always, please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.